Good afternoon. This webinar offers closed captioning. To enable closed captioning, click on the live transcript button on the bottom of your screen and choose your preferred method. Welcome to the City of Chicago Department of Business Affairs and Consumer Protection webinar. Please note any website or email that I mentioned will be posted in the chat box. For those seeking business licensing assistance, you can visit the Small Business Center at City Hall or call 312-74-GO-BIZ. Also, business licenses can be applied for or renewed online at chicagobusinessdirect.org. If you are part of the BACP Entrepreneur Certificate Program, you can get credit for joining this webinar by sending an email to bacpoutreach@cityofchicago.org. If you want to learn more about the program, please visit chicago.gov/businesseducation. Also, this webinar is being recorded and will be available at youtube.com/ChicagoBACP. I will post the mentioned information in the chat box. We encourage attendees to ask questions. Please use the chat box to send your questions. There will be a Q&A session at the end of the presentation. Today's webinar will be Home and Business Protection Program, presented by the Community Safety Coordination Center. Wayne?
Hello and good afternoon. This is Wayne Daniel, Director of Operations and Programming at the Community Safety Coordination Center. First, just like to acknowledge if everyone can hear me.
Yes, we're good.
Okay, thank you so much. Again, my name is Wayne Daniel. I'm the Director of Operations at the Community Safety Coordination Center. Thank you for taking your valuable time and joining us this afternoon to talk about the Home and Business Protection Program. The Home and Business Protection Program is one of our flagship programs and initiatives that has been run by the Community Safety Coordination Center. And we're really proud to present this as a resource to the business community today. So I'm going to begin by just talking a little bit more about the objective of the Community Safety Coordination Center. And we'll follow that by a detailed presentation on the Home and Business Protection Program by Noel Reynoso, who is the program manager. Following both of our discussions, we will have time for questions and answers. Again, so just as a kind of brief introduction to the Community Safety Coordination Center and what our mission is, we seek to provide a role plan and building blocks for safe community coordination between all our city departments and delegate agencies working in the violence prevention ecosystem. So we have these people and place-based strategies that are coordinated out of the Community Safety Coordination Center. I myself am responsible for the oversight of those place-based strategies. This includes coordination of many of the infrastructure-based departments. Infrastructure departments include Assets Information and Services, or AIS, Department of Planning and Development, any of the public safety agencies, so Fire Department, Police Department, OEMC, which is the Office of Emergency Management and Communications, Parks, Department of Buildings, Department of Planning and Development, CTA, all fall under the purview of our place-based strategy. Obviously, BACP is another one of our partners that we are heavily vested with in putting forth our coordinated strategy, again, bringing together all of the violence prevention programming for the city of Chicago in an effort to reduce gun violence. Well, we do this in several ways. First off, the Community Safety Coordination Center is a physical location where we have representatives from multiple city departments engaging in coordination meetings and strategic thinking and planning sessions on a daily basis to offer world-class customer service to the residents of the city of Chicago, and in cases like today, our local business community. We ensure that the violence reduction strategy is based on hyper local interactions with community. What that means is that we talk to community organizations, we talk to block clubs, and we get their feedback on how we design and implement the violence reduction strategies. Everything that we do is data-driven and has a data-based approach. And we also coordinate and support government services that we directly provide, but that we also pay organizations to do on the behalf of the city. We refer to those as delegate agencies. So again, understanding that the city has contracted with several different delegate agencies, whether it be on our place-based or people-based initiatives, we want to make sure that they understand what the mission is and they understand what impact community wants to see them have across our most heavily impacted communities. So again, coordination is at the crux and essence of everything that we do. So our goal is really to address violence in many different ways. The next slide will go a little bit into our public health framework that we use to intervene at different points in a person's life or in a group of people's lives, right? Much like you would do in the sequence of progression of a disease. But what we're really trying to do is understand what the root causes of community violence is and address those root causes. So again, thinking about our coordination efforts, they focus on things like underperforming schools, bad or outdated policies that have some basis or support structural racism. We also do a lot of coordination with police departments, our public safety partners, and their civilian oversight committees to try and mend trust within community. That's a big part of what we do, working with CAPS. Providing funding or support to groups that promote home ownership or affordable housing. Any initiative that deals directly with poverty or income inequality. So we're always looking to support any activities that promote wealth building in our communities, as well as provide opportunities for economic growth, job training, workforce development. The list goes on and on. Again, these are just some of the root causes and things that are, privy to what it is we do and where we focus our efforts. And again, under-resourced public services. So again, back to those city services, making sure that they're being provided at the same rate and professionalism and at the same frequency that some of our more affluent neighborhoods and business districts enjoy access to city services. So we do a lot. And again, our job is to coordinate, right? So we're using existing policies, existing resources, trying as best we can where not to recreate the wheel and where to bring together resources so that they fit together to, again, provide that world-class customer service for the residents, and in this case, our business community. Lastly, on kind of the CSCC strategy is our framework. So this is a public health intervention framework that's kind of served as our model, in which by we impact different groups of people, meeting them where at a specific point where they may be exposed or impacted by violence. So very simply put, if you're in the most advanced stage of a disease, or if you are in the stage of a disease progression where you're experiencing a crisis, right? So this would be like a heart attack, right, or a stroke. We would be intervening at the crisis response level. So this affects the smallest population, but this population needs the most impact or needs the most direct access to services, right? So these would be the people who are most at risk of violence, sometimes the victims of violent crimes, often the perpetrators fall into this area as well, because we want to, get them services to either recover from a violent incident or stop them from re-offending or being a perpetrator again. At the lowest level of this public health framework is the systemic transformation. So these are the lives of the largest amounts of people who are impacted by structural racism. They may be the victims of crime, maybe not the direct victim of a crime, but the people who live on that block, or the businesses that are in the commercial area that are in neighborhoods that have been impacted by violence. And we see these things have an impact on, the patrons, the residents, the business community itself. And then in between, we have community revitalization. So these are like very targeted place-based efforts. This is kind of where our data comes in to say, hey, these are the areas we need to focus more on, and it helps us make decisions on how we prioritize and funnel resources to a particular area. And then also for support for individuals and families at risk. Again, thinking about our people-based strategies, how do we identify those who are most at risk for violence? So if there's other socioeconomic indicators or other types of disease prevalence or health risk that maybe that maybe we can associate or correlate with prevalence of gun violence occurring, these are the people that we want to have the most impact on or prioritize for service delivery. Again, so these are people and places that are very at risk. So I'm hoping that this is starting to kind of paint the picture on what the purpose of the CSCC is, and why we're kind of bringing you this message, and why we chose to kind of start the Home and Business Protection Program through delivering this resource as a both a place-based and people-based strategy. So I'm going to stop there and make sure we are ready to move along to the next part of the brief, where Noel Reynoso is going to talk about the details of the Home and Business Protection Program. Noe?
Thank you, Wayne. Thank you for that overview. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to find out a little more about this program and how you can take advantage of this program while we still have the funds. As Wayne mentioned, I am the program manager, and I'm going to go over a couple slides that give you some of the eligibility requirements as well as the benefits of the program, and just some overall detail on HBPP, as we like to call it here in the office. So we start with the rebate application. The actual application itself is open to Chicago residents as well as business, religious, and nonprofit organizations. And what it's meant to do is you can receive reimbursement up to a certain amount of limits for the cover of the outdoor security cameras. Some of these camera systems have cloud-based subscription costs. We can reimburse up to 1 year of subscription costs. We also can offer rebates for outdoor motion sensor lighting. And we can also do vehicle GPS tracking devices. Some of those devices themselves also have subscription costs, and those are eligible for reimbursement as well. Some of the requirements are that we require proof of a Chicago address, proof of purchase of the security device. Now, these devices have to have been purchased on or after June 6th of this year. We cannot retroactively reimburse devices purchased before June 6th, unfortunately, but we can starting on June 6th. And we also require that you upload pictures of the installed devices on the residence and or business. I wanna reiterate that the program is first come, first serve. We have been open since June 6th, and the program has been quite popular. So we will run through December 31st of 2024 or until funds are depleted, whichever comes first. And from the looks of it, it's looking like our funds will be depleted. So if this program is something that kind of catches your eye, we strongly recommend that you apply within the next I don't know, 30 to 40 days so that you can ensure we review your application and process it accordingly. So I'll go into each particular device and give you more details about what's required. For the private security cameras, they must be placed on the exterior of the building. They must be weatherproof and outdoor rated. They must operate with HD video capabilities and also have night vision. And this is important. They must be able to store footage for a minimum of 72 hours. And that can be either locally in a memory card, or some systems have DVRs, or cloud-based storage. I want to reiterate that we cannot cover the cost of installation, nor can we pay for accessories such as mounting kits, additional memory cards, extra batteries, solar panels, that sort of stuff. The maximum that we can reimburse per residence or business is $450. This can cover the costs of the camera and sales tax. And as mentioned, some of these security devices require subscription costs so that you may have access to the footage. We can reimburse up to $150 for a year's worth of subscription. And as you can see here in the graphic here, condo associations are eligible. But I must repeat that the cameras have to be placed on the exterior of a building. For those that perhaps are not homeowners and rent their property, they are eligible. However, we require that you sign an attestation stating that you have received permission from the landlord to install these devices on the outside of the building and or residence. The second type of device that we can reimburse is security lighting. As mentioned, it must be located on the exterior of the building. They must be weatherproof and outdoor rated, and they also have to have be equipped with motion sensing technology. Again, cost of installation are not included and are not reimbursable. We can do up to $200 per residence and or business. And as mentioned, this includes the cost of the device and the sales tax. And one other device that we have been trying to push recently due to the kind of the crime wave that we've been experiencing with carjackings has been the vehicle GPS tracking devices. Now, if you're a business and you have a large fleet of vehicles, this program will not be able to reimburse you. However, if you're a small business and you have perhaps 1 or 2 vehicles that you use for business purposes or for personal, obviously this is an application and part of the application that would greatly benefit you. We can reimburse up to $50 per device for a maximum of 2 vehicles per registered address. And as noted, some of these GPS tracking devices do incur subscription costs, so we can reimburse up to $120 for 1 year's worth of subscription. Again, no costs or installation are included with these reimbursements, but you can apply for up to two devices for a maximum of $100 for the address. I'm going to go over just some numbers, and again, I wanted to thank the BACP for hosting us. The reason we wanted to promote this program through this channel was, as you can see here on the left hand side, you see that the number of applications for individual residences is, well, quite frankly, it's staggering. It's 95% of the program. As you see there, businesses only account for 3% of the program. We would like to see that number rise significantly. The bottom half is obviously for nonprofit and faith-based, both of which account for less than 2% of the program, to be quite honest. So we're hoping that these types of webinars and the promotional events that we've been doing and kind of the community-based events that we've been attending try to get a higher volume of applications from businesses. So if you can get the word out, we would really appreciate it. And as you can see on the right-hand side, the graph there shows that the cameras are by far the most popular device for which people are seeking reimbursement. It accounts for 84% of the program. As a resident of Chicago, you are eligible to apply for one of each type of device for your business and residence if you reside in the city. So please take advantage of this program. as mentioned, you can get all 3 devices, and get reimbursed to the maximum amount that we just displayed, and take care of your property and residents accordingly. One last thing I wanted to mention is we have this optional component of the program to where we recommend that not only businesses but also residents sign up to register their devices with the Chicago Police Department Camera Registry Program. Now, I want to reiterate that just because you sign up for this does not give them access to the footage. It does not allow them to come to your home and access it without you're always at the behest of you can deny access to the footage if you're so inclined. Giving access requires that police have to request it, and you have to be present and provide access to the footage. More than anything else, it's really just kind of a database to where they have a contact information, an address to where the cameras are listed, and also if need be, you can reach out to detectives yourself and give footage if you caught or if you saw or witnessed something within the vicinity of your residence and or business. So that's something that we like to promote within this program. But again, it's not a requirement, it's simply optional, and something that we wanted to list here for this program. And that's pretty much it. I think that's all I have for now. Geraldine, I don't know if you want to open it up to questions or.
Great, thank you so much. If you have any questions, if you could please put them in the chat. I saw a few come in the Q&A which have been answered already. So just looking, what is the max reimbursement amount for security cameras?
That would be $450. And that includes the actual devices and sales tax.
Okay, great. I have 3 properties and 2 businesses. Will I qualify for all of them?
If the addresses are all distinct and unique, yes, you do qualify for them.
Okay, great.
And they have to be within city limits, yes.
Okay, great. If you have a home-based business, can you apply?
For both? Well, unless it's different apartment, like if it's a storefront and you live on the top of maybe apartment, then you would be able to because it's 2 distinct addresses. But if it's like you're working out of like, your office in the back of the house, then you would not be able to because it's 1 individual address. And I hope that makes sense.
Okay, great. They just want clarification, or is this just the city of Chicago, or are Berwyn residents able to apply?
If their business is in the city, then yes, they can apply. They can still reside in Berwyn, but in order to qualify for a rebate, they would have to have the business and or property within city limits.
Okay, great. Can you attach the link for the application?
It's available through this website here that I have up. And it should lead directly to the Home and Business Protection page, and the application is one of the first things that's readily available. But I can put it in the chat.
Yeah, we'll put it in the chat.
How long does it take to be reimbursed?
Right now, we're processing pretty quickly. I'd say less than a month. I'd say about a 3-week turnaround from when we receive the application to check being in the mail. Now, I should know that's if the application is filled out completely and all the receipts and all the pictures are accessible. Because if not, there might be some interactions based on emails to where we may request additional documents. But if all is well, it takes about 3 weeks.
Okay, great. If anyone has any other questions, if you could please put them in the chat. Any examples of brands that you recommend that have been approved in the past?
You know what, I prefer not to be a spokesperson for any particular brands or models. There are a lot out there. I'm not gonna lie to you.
There's some comments.
Yeah, I mean, it all depends on, whether or not you want it wireless or you want to be running wires and not have to deal with batteries. There's a lot of brands out there, and they just have to do their due diligence to pick the best fit for their needs.
Great. Does the items purchased have to be in place before you purchase?
You mean, yeah, they have to be installed and they have to take pictures of them, yes. I won't accept, I've seen a few pictures where the items are still in the box or in their packaging, but no, they need to be installed on the wall, exterior part of the building and or residence.
The follow-up question is before you apply.
Yes, because you have to have the pictures ready. So when you apply, you have to upload the pictures.
Is a text an acceptable way to communicate approval from the landlord?
Yes, it is. When you apply, there's a blurb, I guess, paragraph you could say that basically states that you're attesting to the fact that you have received permission from the landlord. And it does not have to be a formal letter, no.
Great, thank you. Is the ring product a reimbursable product?
Yes, by all accounts, it seems to be, yeah, they're all devices from that particular brand have been eligible. That includes the doorbell units that they advertise frequently.
Great, thank you. We'll give everyone another minute.
Sure.
Any other questions? If you could please put them in the chat. Again, this webinar has been recorded and will be posted on the BACP YouTube page, which is www.youtube.com/ChicagoBACP. Another question. So we can buy a doorbell and camera units?
Yes, as long as the doorbell units have recording capability, and you now I'm assuming you have to have subscription. You need to be able to save the footage. But yes, you can mix and match cameras and the doorbell unit.
Great, thank you. We'll give another minute for questions. It looks like everyone, oh, I purchased a camera, but it does not have night vision. Can I purchase a new one to be reimbursed?
Yes, please feel free to do so sooner rather than later.
You can apply for the car theft protection for your individual use or business, correct?
Yes, yeah, that as long as it's a small business and it doesn't have a large fleet, because you can only do the 2 vehicles.
Lots of thank yous coming in.
Okay.
Where do we apply?
We'll put the website out again, it's in the chat now, but we'll link it again.
Okay, I think that is all the questions that we have today. I want to thank both of our speakers. Thank you so much for this great information. Thank you attendees for tuning in, and I hope everyone has a great and safe night. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Aaron, for the opportunity. Thank you guys for attending.